Look at yourself, not in the mirror, but within. You say you are tired. You say people don't respect you. You say the world is unfair. But tell me, are you carrying yourself like royalty? Royalty begins in the mind. Before a crown ever touches the head, before a throne is ever seen, before anyone bows or recognizes power, the true kingdom is built within. If your thoughts are weak, your posture will be weak. If your thoughts are uncertain, your voice will tremble. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, your actions will betray you. The world does not first see your potential. It sees your belief about yourself. And that belief is written in the way you stand, speak, choose, and walk away. You cannot think like a victim and live like a queen. The two cannot exist in the same mind. A victim waits for permission. A queen decides. A victim looks for rescue. A queen builds strength. A victim replays the past. A queen prepares for the future. The difference is not in talent, beauty, or opportunity. The difference is in internal dialogue. What do you whisper to yourself when no one is watching? Do you speak with doubt, or do you speak with authority? Your mind is a palace, but many have allowed it to become a marketplace. Noise everywhere, opinions everywhere, comparisons everywhere. You scroll, you compare, you measure your worth against edited images and temporary applause. And slowly, without realizing it, you lower your standard. A queen does not compare her throne to another. She understands that her kingdom is unique. The moment you compare constantly, you abandon your own territory. Thoughts become patterns. Patterns become habits. Habits become identity. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you are not enough, you will begin to act as if you must prove your worth to everyone. You will over-explain. You will over-give. You will stay where you are not valued. But when the mind shifts, everything shifts. When you decide deeply and firmly that you are worthy of respect, your behavior aligns naturally. You speak less, but with clarity. You give less, but with intention. You stay only where peace lives. A queen's mind is disciplined. Not perfect, disciplined. Negative thoughts may appear, but they are not allowed to rule. Fear may knock, but it is not given the throne. Doubt may whisper, but it is not obeyed. Mental strength is not the absence of insecurity. It is the refusal to let insecurity lead. This is daily work. You must observe your thinking like a guard at the palace gate. Not every thought deserves entry. Not every emotion deserves expression. If someone disrespects you, and your first thought is, maybe I deserve this, your crown has already slipped. But if your mind says, this behavior does not align with my standards, you respond differently. You detach. You step back. You protect your dignity. The external action is small, but the internal shift is powerful. And over time, that power becomes presence. The mind of royalty is calm under pressure. Chaos outside does not create chaos inside. Why? Because the foundation is stable. When you know who you are not shaken by temporary opinions. You are not defined by one failure. You are not inflated by one success. Your worth is not negotiable because it is not dependent on applause. Train your mind daily. Feed it knowledge, not gossip. Feed it discipline, not distraction. Sit in silence and confront your excuses. Notice where you blame others. Notice where you shrink. Then, correct it. Gently but firmly. A queen corrects herself before she corrects the world. The transformation does not happen in a day. But the decision does. The moment you choose higher thoughts, you begin building higher standards. And when your standards rise, your life rises to meet them. Self-respect teaches others how to treat you. The world studies your behavior more than it listens to your words. You can say, I deserve better. But if you stay where you are dishonored, your actions send a different message. People do not rise to your expectations. They respond to your standards. And Your standards are revealed in what you tolerate. Every time you accept disrespect in silence, you train the other person to repeat it. Every time you laugh off an insult that wounded you, you send a signal that your boundaries are flexible. Every time you allow someone to cancel your plans repeatedly, speak over you, dismiss your feelings, or minimize your effort, you quietly agree to be valued less. This is not cruelty from the world, this is conditioning. Humans repeat what is permitted. Self-respect is not loud. It does not require anger. It does not require dramatic exits or long speeches. It is calm and firm. It is the ability to say no without guilt. It is the ability to walk away without explanation. It is the ability to remain silent when someone is trying to provoke you. The power is not in proving your point. The power is in protecting your peace. Many confuse kindness with weakness. They think being understanding means enduring everything. They think love means sacrifice without limits. But when kindness is not supported by boundaries, it becomes self-betrayal. A queen can be compassionate, but she is not available for misuse. She listens, but she does not absorb toxicity. She forgives, but she does not forget the lesson. She gives, but she does not deplete herself to keep others comfortable. If you do not respect your own time, others will waste it. If you do not respect your own energy, others will drain it. If you do not respect your own dreams, others will treat them as hobbies. The way you schedule your day, the way you respond to messages, the way you handle criticism, all of it communicates value. When you constantly drop your priorities for others who would not do the same, you quietly declare that your life is secondary. Self-respect also means emotional responsibility. It means you do not beg for attention. You do not chase people who show inconsistency. You do not argue to convince someone to see your worth when someone shows you through actions that they cannot meet your standard. You accept the information and adjust your distance. Not out of pride, but out of clarity. There is a difference between patience and self-abandonment. Patience waits with strength. Self-abandonment waits with fear. One comes from confidence, the other from insecurity. When you fear being alone, you will tolerate behavior that weakens you. When you are secure within yourself, solitude feels lighter than disrespect. Your body language speaks before you do. The way you sit, the way you maintain eye contact, the way you respond when interrupted. These subtle details teach people how to engage with you. If you shrink, others expand over you. If you stand grounded, others adjust. Energy sets the tone. Understand this deeply. Boundaries do not push the right people away. They reveal who is aligned with you. Those who respect you will not be offended by your standards. Those who are threatened by your boundaries were benefiting from your lack of them. Self-respect requires courage. There will be moments when you must choose discomfort over familiarity. You may lose connections. You may disappoint others. You may be misunderstood. But temporary discomfort is lighter than long-term resentment. The moment you stop tolerating what diminishes you, the atmosphere around you changes. Conversations shift. Relationships recalibrate. Some will rise to meet your new standard. Others will fall away. And through it all, your dignity remains intact because you chose alignment over approval. Discipline is true power. Not emotion, not motivation, not inspiration. Those rise and fall like the weather. Discipline remains. It is quiet, steady, and often invisible to others, but it shapes everything. A queen is not powerful because she feels confident every day. She is powerful because she acts according to her standards, even when she does not feel like it. Most people wait for the right mood. They wait to feel ready. They wait for energy, for support, for clarity. And in that waiting, their potential weakens. Discipline does not wait. It moves regardless of emotion. It wakes up when the alarm rings. It trains when the body feels heavy. It studies when the mind wants distraction. It remains steady when excitement fades. Motivation can start the journey. Discipline carries it forward. When you say you want respect, discipline asks, are your habits respectable? When you say you want success, discipline asks, are your daily actions aligned with that desire? When you say you want peace, discipline asks, are you controlling your reactions? Power is not in what you claim. Power is in what you consistently practice. Discipline begins with small promises to yourself. Waking up at the time you decided. Completing what you started. Speaking with intention instead of impulse. These small acts may seem insignificant, but they build internal authority. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you strengthen trust within. Every time you break it, you weaken your own foundation. A queen does not negotiate with her lower impulses. She understands that comfort is seductive. Comfort whispers, tomorrow. Comfort says, once. Comfort justifies delay. But discipline sees the long-term vision. It understands that temporary discomfort builds permanent strength. There will be mornings when you feel tired. There will be days when progress feels invisible. There will be moments when no one applauds your effort. Discipline does not require applause. It does not require recognition. It operates from inner commitment. The throne is built in private long before it is seen in public. Your habits are shaping your identity every day. If you repeatedly choose distraction over growth, you are training your mind to escape challenge. If you repeatedly choose effort over excuses, you are training resilience. The brain follows repetition. What you repeat, you become. Discipline is also emotional control. It is the ability to pause before reacting. It is the strength to remain silent when anger rises. It is the restraint to avoid sending a message you will regret. Emotional discipline protects dignity. Without it, even intelligence becomes useless. One uncontrolled reaction can damage what took years to build. Time management is another form of discipline. How you spend your hours reflects your priorities. A queen guards her time carefully. She does not allow endless scrolling to consume her focus. She does not allow meaningless conversations to drain her energy. She understands that time is a currency that cannot be refunded. When you treat your time casually, others will do the same. Discipline is not harshness. It is structure. It is self-leadership. Imagine trying to lead others while you cannot lead yourself. Imagine demanding respect while you cannot control your impulses. Leadership without self-mastery is fragile. True authority begins within. There will be resistance. Your mind will create arguments. It will search for shortcuts. It will compare your progress to others. Discipline listens, but it does not obey. It returns to the task. Again and again, this repetition creates strength. Not dramatic effort once a month, but consistent effort daily. Your body also reflects discipline. The way you care for your health, your posture, your environment, these are signals of self-respect. When your space is organized, your mind feels clearer. When your body is strong, your presence becomes grounded. Physical discipline supports mental clarity. Many believe discipline limits freedom. In truth, it creates it. When you control your habits do not control you. When you manage your money wisely, you experience financial freedom. When you manage your emotions, you experience relational freedom. When you manage your time, you experience creative freedom. Lack of discipline creates chaos, and chaos creates stress. Consistency builds confidence, not compliments. Not temporary success. Confidence grows when you know you can rely on yourself. When you say, I will do this, and you do it, and self-trust increases. And self-trust is one of the strongest forms of power. You walk differently when you trust yourself. Discipline also requires sacrifice. You may need to say no to invitations. You may need to reduce entertainment. You may need to distance yourself from people who encourage laziness. Growth often feels lonely in the beginning, but loneliness is temporary. Strength is lasting. A queen understands delayed gratification. She plants seeds knowing the harvest will come later. She studies without immediate reward. She trains without immediate recognition. She invests in skills before they are needed. Patience combined with discipline creates unstoppable momentum. Excuses are easy to create. The weather, the mood, the past. Discipline does not deny difficulty, but it refuses to be defined by it. It adapts. If one method fails, it adjusts. If one plan collapses, it rebuilds. The commitment remains. There is a quiet pride that comes from disciplined living, not arrogance, not superiority, just inner stability. You begin to feel grounded. You begin to notice that distractions lose their pull. You begin to recognize that your standards are rising naturally. This is not forced. It is earned through repetition. And when challenges come, because they will, discipline becomes your anchor. While others panic, you execute. While others complain, you prepare. While others quit, you continue. Not because you feel extraordinary, but because you trained yourself to remain steady. This steadiness is power. It cannot be taken from you. It cannot be manipulated. It cannot be shaken easily. It is built in silence, protected by consistency, and strengthened through daily effort. Silence and emotional control are strength. Not because they make you passive, but because they make you powerful. Anyone can react. Anyone can shout. Anyone can defend themselves with noise, but not everyone can pause. Not everyone can remain steady when provoked. Not everyone can feel anger rising in the chest and still choose dignity over impulse. When you react to everything, you give your power away. Every insult controls your mood. Every opinion shapes your confidence. Every misunderstanding pulls you into unnecessary battles. But when you practice silence, you create space. And in that space, you choose your response instead of becoming a prisoner of emotion. A queen does not attend every argument she is invited to. She understands that some battles are distractions, disguised as importance. When someone tries to provoke you, they are often seeking access to your energy. If you respond with intensity, you reward their behavior. If you respond with calm detachment, you shift the dynamic completely. Silence can communicate boundaries more clearly than a long explanation. Emotional control begins with awareness. Notice how quickly your body reacts. The tightened jaw, the faster heartbeat, the urge to interrupt. These signals are not commands, they are information. Most people treat emotion as instruction. They feel anger, so they attack. They feel insecurity, so they cling. They feel jealousy, so they accuse. But strength is the ability to feel deeply without acting blindly. When you control your emotions, you control your direction. One impulsive message can damage a relationship. One uncontrolled outburst can harm your reputation. One emotional decision can alter your path. Silence gives you time to think. It protects you from temporary feelings that could create permanent consequences. There is also power in not explaining yourself to everyone. Not every person deserves access to your reasoning. Not every critic deserves your defense. When you are secure within, you do not feel the need to convince the world of your worth. You allow your actions to speak. You allow your consistency to reveal your character. Silence is not weakness. It is restraint. It is the understanding that words, once released, cannot be retrieved. Many regret what they said in anger, but rarely regret what they chose not to say. A disciplined mind knows that sometimes the strongest statement is no statement at all. Emotional control also protects your peace. When you allow others to dictate your mood, You live in constant instability. One compliment lifts you too high. One criticism drops you too low. But when you regulate your emotions, you remain balanced. Praise does not inflate you. Insults do not define you. You stay grounded because your identity is not built on external approval. There will be moments when you are misunderstood, moments when false assumptions are made about you. The instinct will be to defend immediately, but calm strength observes first. Is this situation worth my energy? Will this conversation create clarity, or will it create more chaos? Emotional maturity asks questions before responding. Controlling emotion does not mean suppressing it. It means processing it responsibly. You acknowledge the feeling, you reflect, you decide the appropriate response. You may address the issue later with clarity instead of heat. You may choose to distance yourself quietly. You may choose to forgive internally and move forward without drama. When your presence is calm, others feel it. When your voice remains steady under pressure, it commands respect. When you refuse to match chaos with chaos, you elevate the atmosphere. Emotional stability creates authority without force. The world is loud. Opinions are constant. Criticism is unavoidable. If you respond to every wave, you will drown in exhaustion. But if you learn to stand still within the storm, you become unshakable. Guard your energy and set boundaries. Your energy is your life force. It shapes your mood, your focus, your decisions, your presence. When your energy is scattered, you feel restless. When your energy is drained, you feel weak. When your energy is protected, you feel powerful. A queen understands that energy is more valuable than attention, more valuable than approval, more valuable than temporary pleasure. Every interaction either nourishes you or depletes you. Every environment either strengthens your clarity or clouds it. Yet many people give access to their time, thoughts, and emotions without awareness. They allow anyone to enter their space, speak into their mind, demand their attention, and slowly exhaustion becomes normal. Boundaries are not walls built from anger. They are filters built from wisdom. They decide who has access to your time. They decide what behavior is acceptable. They decide how much of you is available. Without boundaries, even the kindest heart becomes overwhelmed. Notice how you feel after certain conversations. Do you feel inspired or heavy? Do you feel calm or irritated? Your body is always communicating. When you ignore these signals, you betray yourself. Guarding your energy means listening carefully to what drains you and adjusting accordingly. You are not obligated to answer every call immediately. You are not obligated to attend every gathering. You are not obligated to explain every decision. The need to constantly respond comes from fear of disappointing others. But when you constantly place others' comfort above your peace, resentment grows quietly within you. Energy is also affected by what you consume. The content you watch, the conversations you entertain, the gossip you listen to, all of it shapes your mental state. If you fill your mind with negativity, comparison, and drama, your inner world becomes chaotic. A queen is selective. She feeds her mind with knowledge, discipline, inspiration. She limits exposure to what disturbs her balance. Boundaries require courage because not everyone will understand them. Some will call you distant. Some will call you changed. Some will accuse you of being cold. But often, what they truly feel is discomfort because they no longer benefit from your unlimited availability. When you begin to say no, those who relied on your lack of limits may resist. Saying no is a powerful act of self-respect. It is a reminder that your time is valuable. It is a declaration that your priorities matter. You do not need to provide long explanations. A calm and firm refusal is enough. The more you practice this, the stronger your inner authority becomes. Guarding your energy also means choosing your inner circle wisely. The people closest to you influence your mindset, your ambition, your standards. If you surround yourself with those who complain constantly, you will begin to see obstacles everywhere. If you surround yourself with those who are disciplined and growth-oriented, your vision expands naturally. You must also set emotional boundaries. This means not absorbing every problem as your responsibility. Compassion does not require self-sacrifice. You can care without carrying everything. You can support without solving every issue. When you try to rescue everyone, you exhaust yourself and prevent others from developing their own strength. There is a difference between isolation and protection. Protection is intentional. It is choosing when and where to invest your energy. It is stepping back from situations that consistently disturb your peace. Isolation, however, comes from fear. Guard your energy without closing your heart. Be open, but not exposed. Be kind, but not consumed. Digital boundaries are equally important. Endless scrolling fragments focus. Constant notifications interrupt deep thinking. If you allow your attention to be controlled by devices, your energy becomes reactive instead of directed. Schedule time for silence. Schedule time away from noise. Clarity grows in stillness. When you protect your energy, your presence changes. You become calmer, more deliberate, less reactive. You notice that you are no longer pulled into unnecessary drama. You speak with intention because you are not exhausted. You listen carefully because your mind is not overloaded. Boundaries also create healthier relationships. They establish mutual respect. When people understand your limits, interactions become clearer. There is less confusion, less resentment, less emotional chaos. Clear expectations reduce conflict. Sometimes guarding your energy requires distance. Distance from habits that weaken you. Distance from environments that tempt you to lower your standards. Distance from people who repeatedly cross lines. Distance is not punishment. It is preservation. The strongest form of protection is internal. It is the decision not to internalize every opinion, not to replay every criticism, not to carry every insult into the next day. Release what does not serve your growth. Holding on to negativity drains energy long after the moment has passed. Energy management is daily discipline. It is checking in with yourself. It is asking, what is worth my attention today? It is choosing priorities consciously. When you become intentional with your energy, you stop living on autopilot. A queen moves with awareness. She understands that her energy determines her effectiveness. She invests it wisely. She withdraws it when necessary. She does not chase chaos. She does not entertain confusion. She protects her inner peace as if it were treasure, because she knows that once peace is lost, everything feels heavier. Rise without drama. Fall, learn, adjust, and continue with dignity. This is the mark of true strength. Anyone can rise when the path is smooth. Anyone can celebrate when victory is easy. But when you stumble, when you fail, when you are misunderstood or rejected, your response reveals your character. A queen does not collapse publicly for sympathy. She does not announce every wound. She does not perform her pain for attention. She rises quietly. Life will humble you. Plans will fail. People will disappoint you. You will misjudge situations. You will trust the wrong person. You will doubt yourself at times. This is not weakness. This is part of growth. But what you do after the fall determines whether the experience becomes wisdom or bitterness. Drama seeks witnesses. Dignity seeks improvement. When something goes wrong, the ego wants to defend immediately. It wants to blame. It wants to justify. It wants to explain every detail so that no one misunderstands you. But constant explanation is often insecurity speaking. Strength pauses. Strength reflects. Strength asks, what can I learn from this? Not every mistake requires an audience. Some lessons are meant to be processed in silence. When you handle your setbacks privately, you protect your reputation and your peace. Oversharing pain often invites unnecessary opinions. Not everyone deserves access to your vulnerable moments. Rising without drama means taking responsibility where it is yours. It means admitting when you were wrong without turning it into a performance. It means correcting your behavior instead of defending it. Accountability is powerful. It removes excuses. It strengthens integrity. There will be moments when others try to provoke a reaction from you during your lowest point. They may criticize. They may mock. They may expect you to break. Your calm recovery will frustrate them more than any argument ever could. Silence during rebuilding is a strategy. Let your improvement speak later. Falling is uncomfortable because it challenges your self-image. You may have believed you were stronger, wiser, more prepared. When reality contradicts that belief, pride feels threatened. But humility is not humiliation. Humility is clarity. It allows you to see where growth is needed without collapsing your identity. Adjust quickly. Do not stay attached to what failed. If a plan does not work, refine it. If a relationship reveals incompatibility, accept it. If a habit weakens you, replace it. Adaptation is strength. Stubborn attachment to mistakes prolongs suffering. A queen does not beg to be chosen after rejection. She does not chase approval after criticism. She evaluates, recalibrates, and moves forward. Not because she feels no pain, but because she refuses to let pain define her direction. Emotional resilience is built through repetition. Fall, learn, rise, repeat. There is power in quiet rebuilding. When you focus on improving instead of complaining, you regain control. Complaints keep you stuck in the problem. Action moves you toward the solution. Even small steps restore momentum. Clean your space. Reorganize your schedule. Revisit your goals. Movement creates confidence. Drama often seeks validation. It says, look at what happened to me. Dignity says, watch how I respond. One drains energy. The other builds it. When you constantly replay your hardships to others, you relive the emotion again and again. When you process internally and act strategically, you transform the hardship into strength. Do not confuse silence with suppression. Rising without drama does not mean ignoring pain. Journal, reflect, pray, train, study. Channel emotion into discipline. Transform anger into focus. Transform disappointment into standards. People respect quiet resilience. They notice when you do not crumble publicly. They observe when you return stronger, without explanation. Consistency after failure builds credibility. It shows maturity. It shows depth. You will also face seasons where progress feels slow after a setback. Patience becomes essential. Do not rush recovery just to prove something. Genuine growth takes time. Build steadily. Avoid dramatic comebacks fueled by emotion alone. Sustainable strength is built through calm persistence. Protect yourself. Talk during difficult times. After failure, the inner critic becomes louder. You are not capable. You should have known better. You will fail again. Notice these thoughts without obeying them. Replace them with responsibility and determination. I made a mistake. I learned. I will improve. Rising without drama also means not seeking revenge. Revenge keeps you emotionally tied to what hurt you. Success is a stronger response. Growth is a stronger response. Peace is a stronger response. When you focus on elevation, those who expected your downfall lose relevance. There is elegance in controlled recovery. No long speeches. No public breakdowns. No dramatic exits. Just alignment. Just correction. Just forward movement. This quiet strength builds inner confidence that applause can never provide. The world does not need to see every chapter of your struggle. It will eventually see the results. And when they ask how you managed to rebuild, your answer will be simple. You fell. You learned. You adjusted. You continued. So now you understand a queen is not created by applause. She is created by discipline. She is not defined by perfection, but by how she carries herself through imperfection. She does not demand respect. She embodies it. She does not chase power. She cultivates it within. Royalty begins in the mind. It is protected by self-respect. It is strengthened by discipline. It is revealed through silence and emotional control. It is preserved by boundaries. And it is proven by the way you rise after you fall. This is not about superiority. It is about self-mastery. You will be tested. Your patience will be tested. Your standards will be tested. Your strength will be tested. And in those moments, you will have a choice to react or to remain composed, to complain or to correct, to shrink or to stand taller. Remember, a crown is invisible. It cannot be taken from you unless you hand it over through insecurity, impulsiveness, or self-neglect. Guard it, protect it, honor it. Walk into every room with calm certainty. Speak with intention. Move with discipline. Choose with clarity. And when life challenges you, do not announce your struggle. Adjust in silence. Build in private. Return stronger. You are not here to be ordinary. You are not here to beg for recognition. You are not here to live beneath your standards. You are a queen. Now carry yourself like one every single day.